Welcome to Speak English Podcast. I'm David.
And I'm Sarah. Today we have something exciting for you. We're going to introduce you to the Shadowing Challenge, a powerful method to improve your English fluency in just 30 days.
That's right. If you've ever struggled with speaking English smoothly, this technique can be a game changer. And the best part? You don't need a partner or a teacher. You can practice anytime, anywhere.
Exactly. Stay with us as we break down how shadowing works, how to use it effectively, and most importantly, how to stay consistent for 30 days. By the end of this episode, you'll have everything you need to start transforming your English today.
Let's start with a simple question. What exactly is shadowing?
Shadowing is a language learning technique where you listen to a speaker and repeat what they say almost instantly.
Exactly. It's not just about repeating words, but also matching pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation as closely as possible.
That's right. You basically act like an echo, speaking along with the native speaker without pausing to think.
This forces your brain to process English in real time, making your speech more automatic over time.
And since you're constantly listening and speaking, it also helps train your ears to recognize natural speech patterns.
Yes. Many learners struggle with fluency because they don't practice speaking enough, but shadowing fixes that.
And it's scientifically proven this technique strengthens the connection between your listening and speaking skills.
Plus, it helps reduce hesitation. Instead of translating in your head, you start thinking in English naturally.
That's why many language learners say that after practicing shadowing, their spoken English improves dramatically.
It's an amazing method, but to get real results, you need to practice it correctly.
Right. Some people make mistakes that actually slow down their progress, so it's important to do it the right way.
Good point. Let's break it down and explain how to practice shadowing effectively.
Yes. Up next, we'll go step by step so you can start using this powerful technique today.
Now that we understand what shadowing is, let's talk about how to do it correctly.
Yes, a lot of learners try it, but they don't always get the best results because they miss a few key steps.
The first step is choosing the right audio. It should be clear, natural, and match your current level of English.
Exactly. If it's too fast or complex, you'll get frustrated. If it's too easy, you won't challenge yourself enough.
A good place to start is with podcasts, audiobooks, or even YouTube videos with native speakers.
And here's a tip. Use subtitles at first if you need them, but try to move away from them as you improve.
Once you have the right material, listen to it a few times to get familiar with the pronunciation and rhythm.
Then start, repeating what you hear immediately without stopping to analyze every word.
That's key. Don't worry if you don't get every word perfectly at first. The goal is to improve with practice.
Right. And speaking out loud is important. You have to actually say the words, not just repeat them in your head.
One mistake learners make is mumbling or speaking too softly. You need to be confident and clear.
Yes. Another mistake is stopping when they don't understand a word. Keep going and focus on the overall flow.
The more you practice, the smoother and more natural your speech will become.
And in the next section, we'll give you a 30-day plan to help you master shadowing step by step.
Now that you understand how to practice shadowing correctly, let's take it to the next level. We've prepared a structured 30-day challenge to help you stay consistent and see real improvement. If you follow this step-by-step approach, you'll notice a big difference in your fluency and pronunciation. Are you ready? Let's break it down.
That's right. Having a clear plan makes it easier to stay on track and see progress. In the first week, you'll focus on getting comfortable with shadowing. Choose a short audio clip, around 30 seconds, and repeat it multiple times. Don't worry about perfection. Just focus on mimicking the sounds as closely as possible.
During the second week, we'll increase the challenge. Now, you should work with longer clips, around 1 to 2 minutes. Keep repeating each section until you feel more confident. Pay close attention to intonation and stress, and try to match the speaker's rhythm as naturally as possible.
By week 3, you'll take it even further. Choose an audio that lasts about 5 minutes and practice in full sentences rather than just repeating word by word. The goal now is to develop a smooth and natural flow, focusing on keeping up with the speaker without pausing too much.
In the final week, it's time to push yourself. Select even longer recordings, 10 minutes or more, and try to shadow them without looking at a transcript. At this stage, you'll really start to feel the benefits of this technique. You'll notice that your speech sounds more natural and confident.
And here's something important. Record yourself once a week. Comparing your first and last recordings will help you track your progress. You'll probably be surprised by how much your pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency improve in just 30 days.
That's a great tip. It's also important to practice regularly. Even if you can't do a full session every day, try to practice for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Consistency is what really makes the difference in your progress.
Also, vary your practice materials. Use podcasts, news reports, movie scenes, anything that challenges you with different accents and speaking styles. This will make you more adaptable and prepare you for real-world conversations.
Another great way to stay motivated is by finding an accountability partner. If you have a friend who's also learning English, challenge each other to stick to the plan and check in on progress. Having support makes the process more fun and engaging.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Shadowing isn't about being perfect from the start. It's about gradually improving. Over time, you'll naturally correct small mistakes and become more confident in your speech.
By the end of this challenge, you'll be speaking faster, more clearly, and with better pronunciation. And the best part? These improvements will stay with you, even after the 30 days. Shadowing is a powerful habit that can completely transform your English.
So now that you know the plan, let's move on to some common challenges people face when doing shadowing. In the next section, we'll discuss how to overcome obstacles and make the most out of your practice sessions.
Shadowing can be difficult at first, and there are a few common obstacles that learners face. But don't worry. These challenges are normal, and with some simple strategies, you can overcome them. Let's take a look at what might get in your way and how to push through it.
One of the biggest challenges is trying to keep up with the speaker. If you're struggling to match the pace, it's okay to slow down. You can always replay the audio and practice each section at your own pace. Speed comes with practice, so don't stress if it takes time.
That's a great point. It's important to focus on understanding and mimicking the sounds first, rather than rushing to match the speed. As you practice consistently, your fluency will improve, and you'll naturally start keeping up with the speaker.
Another challenge is understanding different accents and speaking styles. Some recordings might be hard to understand due to a strong accent or fast speech. If that happens, try to find a transcript and follow along, or start with easier materials to build your confidence.
Exactly, Sarah. The key is to start with materials that match your current level and gradually increase the difficulty. Remember, shadowing isn't just about perfection, it's about steady improvement. As you challenge yourself, your skills will grow.
Another obstacle that learners face is lack of motivation. Sometimes it feels like progress is slow, and that can be discouraging. But remember, small, consistent efforts will lead to big results over time. Set weekly goals and celebrate your improvements to stay motivated.
You're right. Celebrating the small wins keeps you motivated. Another tip is to change up your practice routine to keep things fresh. If you always practice with the same material, it can get boring. Try mixing it up with different topics or types of content.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Shadowing is a process, and mistakes are part of learning. The more you practice, the more natural your speech will become. Focus on progress, not perfection.
That's a great point, Sarah. The key is consistency. Even if you make mistakes, keep practicing. Over time, you'll notice that your pronunciation, fluency, and confidence all improve. The more you speak, the better you'll get.
And remember, you're not alone in this process. Many learners face the same challenges, but by following the steps we've outlined, you'll be well on your way to improving your English. Stick with it, and you'll see great results.
Absolutely! With the right mindset and a consistent practice routine, you can tackle these challenges and make impressive progress in your English skills. Now, let's move on to the next section, where we'll discuss how to stay motivated throughout your shadowing journey. Staying motivated while practicing shadowing can be a challenge, especially when you don't see immediate results. But remember, improvement in language learning takes time. It's important to stay consistent and trust the process.
One great way to stay motivated is by setting small, achievable goals. These goals don't have to be huge. Start with something simple, like mastering a short audio clip or improving your pronunciation of a particular sound.
That's right. Setting smaller goals helps keep you focused and gives you a sense of accomplishment. Once you reach those goals, it will inspire you to push forward and continue working towards the bigger picture.
Another helpful tip is to track your progress. Write down what you've worked on each day and note any improvements you've made. This can be a great way to visually see how much you're advancing over time.
Exactly, Sarah. Sometimes we don't realize how far we've come until we look back. Tracking your progress helps reinforce the idea that you are getting better, even when the changes feel small.
And don't forget to mix up your materials, using different types of content, like podcasts, audiobooks, or even movies, will keep things interesting. Variety not only improves your listening skills, but also keeps you engaged in the process.
That's a great suggestion. By mixing things up, you're also exposing yourself to different accents and speech patterns, which will ultimately help you become more adaptable in understanding various English speakers.
Another tip is to find a language partner or join a community. If you're able to practice shadowing with someone else, it can make the process more fun and interactive. You can share your challenges and motivate each other.
That's true. Having someone to share the experience with can make it much more enjoyable. But if you prefer practicing solo, that's fine too. Just make sure to find ways to stay motivated, whether through personal goals or by keeping things fun.
Ultimately, motivation is about keeping the momentum going. If you ever feel stuck, take a break, reset, and then jump back in. As long as you keep practicing, no matter how small, you'll keep improving.
Well said, Sarah. Remember, learning a language is a journey. Stay patient, keep your goals in sight, and don't give up. Let's move on now to our final section, where we'll share some tips for making shadowing a part of your daily routine. Now let's talk about how to incorporate shadowing into your daily routine. It's important to make it a consistent part of your day. The more frequently you practice, the more natural the process will become.
Absolutely, David. One way to do this is by setting aside a specific time each day. It doesn't need to be long. Even 15 to 20 minutes daily can make a significant difference if you practice regularly.
That's a great point, Sarah. It's better to practice a little bit each day than to do long sessions sporadically. Consistency is key in building good habits and seeing results.
You can also try incorporating shadowing into your everyday activities. For example, listen to audio content while commuting, exercising, or even doing household chores. It's a great way to maximize your time.
Exactly, Sarah. Multitasking can help you fit in shadowing practice without it feeling like an extra burden on your day. Even if you're not actively shadowing during those times, you're still listening and absorbing English.
And don't be afraid to start with smaller, more manageable chunks. For example, focus on short audio clips, like a 1-minute podcast episode or a scene from a TV show. That way, it won't feel overwhelming and you can still see progress.
That's a great way to ease into shadowing. Over time, as you get more comfortable, you can gradually increase the duration of your practice sessions. You might even be able to shadow for longer periods without feeling tired or frustrated.
Another tip is to track how much you practice each week. You could use a simple calendar or app to mark off the days you've completed your shadowing sessions. This can help you stay accountable and motivated.
Yes, keeping track of your progress is a great way to see improvement. It's also a reminder of how much you're dedicating to your learning, which can motivate you to keep going.
And remember, don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay if some days you're unable to practice. The important thing is to keep going and get back on track as soon as you can. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint.
Very true, Sarah. Be kind to yourself and enjoy the journey. With consistent practice and patience, shadowing will become a natural part of your daily routine, helping you improve your fluency and pronunciation. Well, that's all for today's episode. Now, it's your turn. Take the shadowing challenge and start improving your English today. Remember, consistency is key, and you've got this.
Absolutely. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found this helpful, and subscribe to our channel for more tips and challenges. Join us on this journey to mastering English.